Hi, ladies. How are you doing this evening?
We are doing great.
Good. Very well. Yes.
We are well.
You hear the double? Did you guys hear the double? Okay. Do you hear it
More of an
now?
echo.
Okay, no more echo. I think we're good now. How are you ladies doing? How's your evening going? How are the queens?
Fantastic. Yes. Yes.
Sandy.
Thank you for all who are joining us in the comments and watching this evening. Thank you for the ladies that are joining us on the panel. You have just entered the Queen's Court. And I'd like to give the ladies a chance to introduce themselves, and then we'll get right into our first topic of the evening. We have a very special conversation. This is our Valentine's Day edition. As you can see, we're all kind of trying to do the pink. Soldiers for the Lord movement.
You're a jerk.
I'm in the Lord's army.
I did not get the memo. So here I am.
Girl, throw a pink.
Soldier girl.
You have a
outfit.
crown. I know you have a crown somewhere. Just put it on. It's pink. Just grab it. Yeah, girl. I knew it. I felt it in my spirit. Ooh, girl.
My question is,
Sometimes
how
you
many
just throw on that candle and remember
how many
who they talking to.
have random crowns laying around that you can ask?
Listen.
That you can ask it just like a reach. Like, well, I don't have that. Let me have out of the closet. I don't have a
Listen,
crown.
everybody knows Iris was born a
I can do-
princess. Iris was born a princess. She will always be a princess. Everybody knows.
She
We're
was
just
like,
waiting for her
"Oh, I'm Meghan Markle. Let me grab my crown."
Not Markle.
No, I had it out for a shoot that we had, like a video shoot we did a little bit ago.
For a video shoot. Okay. You gonna hit us with the vocals today?
That's I'm gonna let something else.
You know what? We actually, you know what? Save that for later. Oh, which to keep in mind for everyone that's watching, please stay tuned to the end because we will be announcing our Valentine's Day giveaway. So you have to stay tuned to the end to get that information. But let me let you know it'll be way worth it. Right, ladies?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I think I might subscribe so I could win it.
Wait, you're not subscribed already?
No, I am. I just switched.
Oh, I was like, you need to fix that right now. Okay, well, we do have a guest queen in the house, so I do want to introduce her first, Miss Kiki Kell.
Woo! The Queen Mother.
Hello.
Let them know where they can find you. Do you have any other social medias where they can find you and like your content?
No,
No. Oh, that's
I
totally
am not up to date. I
No.
will get up to date.
okay. Well, you're looking very lovely this evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and I'm excited to get started. Ladies, everyone knows Lady Iris, and you can find her as Iris Blooms on every platform. I think it's just Instagram, but she's working on that.
Iris Bloom's 29, and I wanted to introduce myself because I'm Mrs. Nesbit. Joking. Inside joke is curves.
Is that where they can find you on Instagram?
No. Okay, it's Iris Bloom's 29. I was just trying to make Curves laugh again because we made her face red. She had to go off screen.
All right, Curves. I think she kind of introduced you. Let them know who you are, where they can find you. Such a goofy.
Yeah, it's Curves for Life. And if you didn't know, then now you know. It's the Vibe Central. This is Queen Talk. But no, let me stop. Curves for Life, also known as Gigi Real on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
You are kind of going out, so I would just suggest talk a little bit slower because I feel like I'm catching every other word. Maybe you're going too fast. Is she cutting out for you guys too?
Just
No.
a little bit.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Ladies, are you ready to get the show started?
Yes.
Yes.
Iris, do you want to introduce this first topic before I play the clip, or you just want to get right into it?
Oh, You can go ahead and get started, and then I'll kind of touch base after we're done.
Okay, I'll play the clip and then you can kind of introduce your thoughts on it. We can go into the first question after that. Okay. Alrighty, here we go.
Posted a picture of my niece and I from one weekend morning. She'd slept over, and we got up and were having tea and playing cards and having this beautiful morning. It was great. I felt great about it. And my sweet little niece reposted it a couple of days later, and interesting things happened. The amount of people that felt absolutely required to talk about how terrible I looked in the picture, that I'm not aging well, that I look like a man. Why would I even post a picture like this when I look that terrible? People saying, God, I didn't even recognize her. This is what she looks like. And then the fights that break out within the comments where someone says, you should be nice. Why should I be nice? She looks terrible. And people start fighting within the comments. I was amazed at what that made me feel. And I'm a 50-year-old woman, and I know who I am. And still, my feelings got hurt. I was so hurt that people couldn't see the point of it, the sweetness of it, the absolute shining joy of that photo. And I thought, God, what if I was 15? That's just devastating. And it really made me see all the things about hearts and clicks and likes, and you realize there is something neurological about this whole system. It was fascinating to me, and I think it taught me a lot about being a young person in today's society.
Alrighty, ladies. So that was a lot. So let's go ahead and unpack that. I know Iris sent me this clip earlier this week, and she really wanted to talk about self-love. So if you want to kind of give us your thoughts on why you sent the video and what you're hoping to achieve with this topic.
Like you said, it's a lot to unpack, because you could put yourself, I think what the question she posed to us at the end is just imagine being a teenager in this world. And I work with youth, so there have been studies and points that have been made that when we were in school, if you were having a bad day, if you were being bullied, or maybe you were made to feel uncomfortable, at least you got to go home, and that kind of was like, that was quieted. You had a little bit of a reprieve. You had a sanctuary. But now, because social media is 24/7, and so many people feel that they have to check their feed if something did transpire at school, and it's brought to that platform now. It's like you can't escape. And then a lot of times it's multiplied. If it's shared, or if somebody makes a comment, then you have to deal with it again when you go to school the next day. So I just don't feel like they have an opportunity to have peace. And I think my concern, like in Miss Kiki Kells, she has a little bit more a wisdom and insight. She's going to give it to it. But I think the part that was important to me is if someone that is successful, and Julia Roberts has been iconic since before I was born, and
That's just
she's
the 80s,
still a
right?
leading lady. Yeah, if she felt the impact at this age, it really does make me concerned about what our generation is dealing with, and then coming up with a solution. It's so integrated into everybody's life now. It would like almost take a movement to get them to not feel so dependent upon it at this point. And that's my concern, that they don't have to feel dependent upon not only the device, but the platform, but what everybody thinks about them. But I would like it to kick it to Kiki Kells, because I feel like she has like a two-sided, two-piece point she wants to bring, and some wisdom to share.
Okay, feel free. Ms. Kiki, you have the floor.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
My first thought is, if you are going to put yourself on platforms, to kind of prepare yourself for whatever, whether it's negative or positive. Um, as a parent, it is very important to arm your children, to strengthen them. That's why, yes, you can. I'm not against your children being on the phone and being on platforms, but to be on it so much that it has more of a voice than your own family, people who actually love you, invest in you, make sure that you are living and healthy day to day, they should have a lot more voice. Because of that, honestly, when they speak, they're speaking to your advantage. And when you're hearing from people from other platforms, they really don't care about you. So their view of you is going to be skewed. It's going to be fogged up by what they think of themselves. Some people are not happy unless they are tearing other people down. And can you imagine someone as beautiful as Julia Roberts, um, from the start of her career to now? She's still beautiful. At her age, she is beautiful, with or without makeup. And to me, as many shows that you've seen where high fashion models, starlets, have let themselves be seen without makeup, you should know that whatever you see on the screen is not realistic. There is a normal human being that has been made up with the best stylists in the world. So for you to compare that to her sitting at home with her niece just enjoying a day is just very ignorant. And please forgive me, I'm not trying to point that at anyone specific. But on the other end, because we should be, it's important because you, as far as self love, and I don't mean to, but as far as self love, because sometimes you may not have somebody on the outside of you, unfortunately, telling you how wonderful you are. But you can tell yourself that you're wonderful. And I mean with a balance, because I see people do that and they're almost delusional. There is a balance. Everyone has some wonderful qualities. And you are the first one that has to realize that and appreciate it. And you should know it so well that when someone says something outside of what you believe, you should be strong enough to at least take a critique, take it under advisement, take it into consideration. If it fits, make some adjustments, improve, and move on. Discard the rest. But don't be so quick to discard everything that people say in a negative tone as a hater, because they could be giving you an honest critique that could actually benefit you. You
Miss
know,
Kiki Kells, can I ask you a question?
yes.
You've raised children outside of this social media era. Can you like kind of describe what the difference was, like based on how you raised your children? What do you see a huge difference?
Yes, their phones take up more time than anything. I mean, you sat at the dinner table and you looked at each other's face and you actually looked in each other's eyes. You actually took the time to look in your children when they walked in the door. You knew whether if you literally, like the avatar, I see you. The first persons who are supposed to see you are your parents.
Mhm.
That means see who you really are. Um, when they walked in the door, when you guys walked in the door, I knew you had an off day or you had a great day. You should know by body language or how I was answered. And at some point, space has to be made where you guys can unpack your day, unload. Um, and you usually did. And when you were having a day where you were being put down or whatever, um, just to creatively find a way to help you be strengthened by it. Because adversity, if you learn to overcome it, just makes you a stronger person. You can't always run from things that are tough.
Mhm.
If you do, you just become a weaker person. Um, so it is okay to help your children overcome. No, we don't
Okay.
want bullying, but there is a way to arm your children to let them feel like, number one, they need to know they're great. They need to know you think they're great. We did not, my husband and I, your dad, we didn't do nicknames. You guys had your moments of teasing and picking, but home was supposed to be a safe haven. Home was supposed to be that place where you knew that the people at the dinner table really did love you and had your back.
Mhm.
And, when you walked out, you could almost face the world.
Yeah.
Ideally, was it always perfect in the house? No, because y'all had your tiffs. You had your times where you borrowed each other's clothes without asking and didn't return them and things like that.
Yeah.
Just
Just you staying on the show.
normal sibling tiffs. But what I don't like about this time is where other voices have your children's attention more than the parent. And I think it's sad because the parent really does have a vested interest. I'm not saying anyone outside of the family unit doesn't care, because they do, because it takes a whole village. But overall, it's the parents first. You
Mhm.
know, the mother invested 9 months
Just
Mhm.
to
and
start.
made a connection that nobody else made. The dad usually is the first person to hold that child, and so you're you're looking at this individual with the hopes that they're going to achieve their very best, and you're going to filter things out as much as you can. But when you can't, you strengthen your child, you arm them, and it's difficult. Now, we did make sure that there were certain things you just didn't watch until you were at an appropriate age to handle that information,
Mhm.
and we introduced it in a way where it was understandable.
Mhm.
Sometimes kids don't have a box with things that are just not suitable for them. They don't even know where to place that.
So
So
it sounds like the social media, even though it's more prevalent in today's society, if the parents are active, it could still be under control.
yes, yes,
That's what it
it
sounds
is
like.
okay to to guard what your children see, what they hear, who they're around. It is okay to guard it. And if you can't, you make sure they understand what they're facing so they can handle it better.
Yeah, I was actually Curves actually sent me a video of this gentleman talking about trauma, and they were saying that a lot of children go through trauma, and it's unbeknownst to the parents because they're not giving them the essential things that they need. And he was saying that children need to be allowed to feel what they're feeling and experience what they're experiencing, but it's the parent's job to walk them through it. Like, yes, okay, you
Exactly.
lost a grandparent. It's okay to be sad. It's okay. We can't live here. Feel what you're feeling, and then like let them talk about it. Let them go through it. Help them move through it, but let them know that their feelings are real, and show them how to overcome that.
Right.
So Curves actually sent me that video. I don't. Do you remember the name of the video? I can like put it in the chat. It was
Um,
actually really good.
it was an interview between. I would have to look it up. I really don't remember. It's that Indian looking dude, Brit.
I think he is Indian. Shetty.
Yes. Um.
He was interviewing a doctor, and the doctor studied trauma. Like, it was so good. It was
Mhm.
an hour and a half. It was worth it all. Yeah. So I know that we wanted to pose the first question. I kind of wanted each of you ladies to go around, since we are talking about self love. This is one of many loves we're going to talk about this evening, but self love in today's time is so important. So I kind of like everyone to give their definition of what self love looks like for them. I'll start with you, Curve, since you haven't done a lot of talking.
If I may interrupt before you get started,
Sure, of course.
I got a note from someone saying that the link, they're having trouble with the link so to the show. So I don't know if something needs to be reposted on social media so someone can get a hold of it. And then just a note in regard to the doctor that you spoke of, we will definitely post it in the chat because we want to make sure we're giving credence to
Absolutely.
their brilliance and just so everybody knows.
I'll do that right now, and I'll
Yeah.
read. So,
And we will quote the real name of the host and the doctor.
I know his show is called On Purpose because he believes in like doing things on purpose and being on his purpose.
Yes.
As far as the interview, I'll find out. I'll post
It's
it.
okay. But I just want to make sure we're honoring the host and the doctor. Make sure we're saying their name and not just what they look like. I want to make sure.
Sure. And I sent you the link. If you want to repost it or send it to your friend, I'll double check on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, go right ahead, Chris, Curves, if you wanted to share what self-love looks like for you. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Yeah, so self-love for me looks like just spending time with myself, taking time to I love water. So going by the water, uh enjoying my free time, doing things that bring me peace beside the water, meditating, just, setting out my expectations and what I want in my future. Just being by the water, getting my nails done, going to get my feet done, shopping. I think it looks different for everybody, but for me, it just means like spending time dolo, enjoying my time, whether that's going to see a movie by myself, going out to lunch by myself, like I said, maintenance, nails, hair, whatever, just doing something for me. That's what it is for me.
Okay. Do you ever feel like guilty that you're spending time on yourself, with yourself, by yourself?
Absolutely not. Because what was the question?
What does self-love look like for you?
So this is myself, and this is how I'm showing myself love. How I show myself love is doing things for myself.
Okay.
It's exactly what.
Because I know sometimes a lot of people struggle with that. Like they feel like, oh, I can't spend money on myself because my kids need it more, or I can't go do this for myself because this time could be spent doing something for someone else. Like I know a lot of people that struggle, truly struggle with doing things for themselves. Like how would you tell them to be able to kind of like, I guess, get over that feeling?
I think about the things that I do for other people, and then I tell myself I deserve what I'm about to do for myself. I think about how I show up for other people, how I am other people's shoulder to cry on, how I assist in other people's lives and make other people feel good. And I tell myself, hey, gee, you deserve this. You deserve to have this time alone. You deserve to feel good because you bring other people up when people are down. You make them feel good. You do your part in other areas for other people. So I've already given. So for me, it's like this is my turn for myself. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't struggle with that. Just me personally. So
I
you know,
know I have struggled with
Logan,
it in the past, so that's something that's a
sorry,
good nugget. I said that's something I've struggled with in the past, so that's a good nugget for some people.
I call cap and I don't think nothing could be further from the truth.
What do you mean?
You said for yourself?
Yeah, I struggled with doing things for myself, especially when I had my son, because I felt like I, I stopped getting my nails done. I stopped buying myself clothes. I didn't buy myself new clothes until my son was 10 because I felt like he was constantly growing. He needed. So when I had money, it's like I could buy myself something, I could get my nails done, or I could buy him new shoes because he's growing out of his, or I could buy him new pants because he's gotten taller. So it's like I struggled a long time with just being okay with doing for myself. It was okay before I was a mom, but after I was a mom, I felt guilty spending money on myself for a long time.
Go
Iris,
on.
do you want to go? I'm sorry. Were you finished?
No, that wasn't. That wasn't.
Oh. Lady Iris, did you want to um describe what self love looks like for you?
I mean, Curves gave a lot of good points, but I think self-love for me is just spending time. I used to make this joke. There was a season of my life where, I was doing full-time work, full-time school. We were caring for our father who was ill at the time. I was heavy in, volunteering at my church, in the community. So like there would be some moments where I just felt like I was giving so much to other people that one of the simplest things for me, it might not even seem that big for other people, it was just like, okay, I've got all these little pieces or large pieces done, and I have a moment to breathe. I can think my own thoughts. So simple, I know. Or for me, it was just on those wildly busy days and schedules that I had going on, multiple meetings, multiple events going on. It would be just being able to take an evening walk. Like it was something that our dad used to do with us when we were kids. We would just go on a family walk. It was like some of my most beloved and treasured moments. While we were taking those walks, he would just be like pouring out wisdom, for us. And even before he passed, I would literally call him like once because I'm a night owl, he was a night owl. So I would just call him and, kind of just talk to him about my day, talk to him about what's going on, what thoughts, because he always had new nuggets and wisdom and things that, you were just kind of coming pouring out of him. And, even on my nightly walks, I would call him and talk to him. So it almost felt like he was there with me. So, I'll be honest, for a long time when he passed away, it was hard for me to take long walks again because I was just like, oh my gosh, he's not here anymore. So sorry, no, side note, but for me, self-love was just taking a moment for myself. Um, it might not have been like a nail thing or getting something like lavishly done, but it was just being able to think my own thoughts and like, this is my moment where nobody in the world depends on me. This is just my time. Because I am one of the older ones in our family. So I feel like when you always kind of have this predisposition or thought or concept, like, you always need to be like watching out for somebody or caring for somebody or being a role model. So it's so easy to go into that role even if nobody's asking you to. So for me, sometimes it's just, hey, I'm only going to take care of me right now. And that's cool. Or even just driving down the road, listening to music. Very simple, but it's my time.
Your self-love time sounds really simple.
It is.
It's not a spa day. It's not a day at the beach. It's not a shopping day. You're like, I just want to drive and listen to music. I just want to think my own thoughts.
Or just like sitting on the beach. I love just sitting on the beach and taking it in right at sunset time. I mean, I did get my nails done, so I guess that was a little self-care. So,
You sound like you're easy to please. Yeah, but self-care and self-love aren't the same things. Because you can hate yourself and go spend $1,000 on diamond-studded skin laser treatment.
Still not. And I think a lot like you, Kelly. It did take a while for me to, I don't want to say put myself first, but like think of myself. I was always like, I'll put myself on the shelf because I'm like, I can get back to me. This person needs me right now. This person needs me right now. So it's so easy to go into that. So I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So
but I'm gonna save that for my.
It's very important.
For her, self-love was also learning to say no.
For Lady Alice,
I was gonna get into that. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
well, I think that's her topic, so you may dive into that deeper.
Yeah, but I think that's a good point. Kiki Kells, you're right.
Yeah. What about you for you, Kiki Kells? What does self-love look like for you?
Self-love for me was learning to rediscover myself.
Ooh,
there's different times in your lifetime that you're giving and pouring into others that you can have the tendency to lose yourself. So I had a period where it was towards the family. Then when you guys grew up, I became someone who had to pour into a very special person, which was your dad, who invested his entire life in family, marriage, ministry. So when he needed me, I needed to be there for him. When he went to be with the Lord, I had to learn to rediscover, because as you get older, what you liked when you were younger is ridiculous. That's if you have matured any. And so, colors change, music changes, just things, after he passed, I just felt led from the Lord to make sure I put things around me that made me feel happy. So I made sure I kept bouquets of flowers. I love flowers. Um, I just did and they were simple things, you know, go ride somewhere. Don't answer that phone call. Because sometimes people, in trying to be sympathetic, literally hang their own sadness on you, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm
Oh
trying to
my
get past mine.
God, take that back.
I don't know why people have to tell stories to match yours, and so now you have double. And I
That's a
know
good
they're trying to
point.
be helpful, but it's difficult.
That's a good
So
point. That's a good point, because when you're going through something, it's like people are like, "Oh, you told me a sad story." I have a sad story too, but it's like they think they're sympathizing with you, but that it could be they're pouring more onto you. Like, I don't want to think about your sad stuff
yeah,
right now. I understand, but let me be sad by myself.
Well, that is
so yes,
humans naturally, they want to be able to relate and level with you, and a lot of times when you tell someone something, in their head they feel like, okay, if I can relate to them, like, yeah, like I've been through that situation too, I lost somebody in my life too, oh, I broke my arm too, oh, I lost my job too. Like, people like to feel like they're leveling with you, so I just think it's a natural. I don't think people mean any harm by it,
yeah,
but
no,
I
they
do think
don't.
people should be more aware of the timing of when they say certain things, or maybe if someone is you know going all out and like crying out to you about a certain topic that might be sensitive to them, maybe not turn around and tell them, just be mindful of it. But I just think naturally people feel like they're being helpful, like, yeah, that happened to me too, but they're not thinking like,
I agree with that. And I think you're actually really good at that. I think Curves and Lady Iris, I think you guys are really good at that. Because, like, I feel like when I tell you something, Curves, you get into the story with me. I'd be like, oh my God, this girl at work and da da da. You'd be like, that girl did that. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go get it. It's like you join on my team, and it's like now you're a warrior on my squad, and we're going to get this person together in my story, not in real life, but like in my story. Versus like, oh my God, you had a bad day at work. I had a bad day at work too. It's like you join in on my bad day with me. It's like, yes,
I don't think I've heard her say "Let's go get her." So
no, she doesn't. But like,
disclaimer
but like,
that part.
but she'll join in, like, oh, no, she didn't. Like she'll have fun with you
I'll
in
get you
the
amped
story.
up. I'm never that friend. Listen, everyone, know your friends. Let's say that. Know your friends, because some of your friends are the ones like Lady Iris. They will be that angel on your shoulder that's like, oh no, don't
Aw.
do it. I'm going to be the one with the pitchfork that's like, break his windows. Do it. He deserves. I'm going to. She's gonna lead you down the
She's gonna
path.
throw on the Carrie Underwood song, your theme song, okay?
She's gonna.
Cause I
Lady,
dug my
More
gonna lead
Jasmine
cave.
you down the
Sullivan.
path of righteousness, and I'm gonna lead you down a path of revenge.
Iris will be like,
Oh
turn
my
the other
gosh,
cheek. Turn the other cheek. And Curse will be like, turn their other cheek.
y'all are crazy. All right, we're on a rabbit trail.
We are, but it was
It
fun.
was fun.
So who didn't go? Were you finished, Key Cows, on your self-love, your example, your definition?
Yeah,
It was
self-discovery,
just you. Oh no,
So
you did.
and also leaning into the Lord, because nobody knows your identity better than Him. So as you get closer to Him, He literally puts a mirror up and shows you your reflection of who you are, but who you're supposed to be.
amen.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Um, so for me, I like to do definitions, so I know like exactly what I'm supposed to we talking about? So I looked up self love, and it is a regard for one's own well being and happiness. Considered a desirable, it's considered as desirable rather than narcissistic, right? So it's not like you're being a
All
narcissist.
about yourself.
Uh huh. Uh huh. So based on that definition, I do have some notes. Um, for me, I said what I wrote is putting my sanity before others' emotions. Um, so because I know
That works.
sometimes people get emotional and they want you to go there with them. And kind of like what Kiki was saying, it's like sometimes I can't go there with you, and sometimes you need to know when to not pick up that phone call, or when to not join in on the drama, or when to not go out with people that are just going to bring you down when you need to be building yourself back up. So for me, self love, I don't look at it as self care. I think that's two different definitions. Like me going to get my nails done, that's self care. Me going to the dentist, self care. Getting my hair done, self care. Self love for me, to me, that looks like being able to spend time with my own thoughts, being able to read a self help book, being able to build myself up from within so I have something to be able to pour out. Because I know that a lot of people constantly pour, and give out and give out, and then they end up empty and they never have time to go recoup and go get refilled again. So for me, self love is taking time to actually be me again, like making sure I smile. Because a lot of times when you're the person that makes everybody smile, they don't really care if you're not smiling. They only care that you're making them smile. So making sure you take time to make sure you're good.
Be
So
restored.
restore. Good word. Okay. Almost like you're a pastor's wife or something. Okay, so that was it for me. I do have a follow-up question. If each of you can kind of go around and give an example of a time that you had to work on loving yourself. Like, and you can take, if you can go over 2 minutes if you need to, but I'd like to everyone to have a chance to be able to speak from the heart. So
Yeah.
I said 2 minutes so we don't go like 10, but if you need to go over 2 minutes.
I can
Anybody?
start off. Um, I think sometimes you go through um, different stages of this. To be honest with you, I think there's times where when you're a young someone in your adolescence, you go through that season of your life where you're trying to discover yourself and you're trying to figure out who you are. And and thank goodness when I was younger, you didn't have social media like blasting all, everything and what you're supposed to be. It was more like TV shows and magazines or whatnot, and social media was kind of getting started, but it wasn't like controlling society. So I didn't have that. Everybody's like IG model this, IG model that, all the time. But I think it was, here's the image of what's beautiful in this stage of your life, and you're still trying to figure yourself out. And at that time, being a size like 0 to like size, like, let's say size 4 to 0 was like really popular. And I've always been a curvy girl. Even when I was running track, when I was playing soccer, field hockey, I was playing all kinds of sports in school, and having a healthy diet and curvy. And at that time, it just felt like almost unfair. It's like, well, I'm doing all this work to get what the ideal at that time, the ideal beauty was, and it just wasn't working. If you ever meet my mom, it's genetics. You can't do anything about it. I think Kel's got down to like a 0 at one time, and she still looked curvy. So I was literally chasing an image that wasn't real, not for me. And so after a while, I had to come to grips like, you're always going to be curvy, no matter what you do. And obviously, it's trending now. It's great, but at that time, it was not. People would joke you for being curvy. People would joke you for having a big bottom, like it. But now it's all the rave. But at that time, no, you would get mocked for it.
I agree.
But it got to a point. It got to a point where I was just like, why am I working so hard to look like this image when I actually like my curves? But it's almost like I was afraid to say it because that's not what was considered beautiful at the time. And so I'm like, and then of course just the puberty, the pimples, the braces, and then just trying to figure yourself out. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. but people should have the conversation with teens that, you are hormonally changing so drastically, so quickly. It's messing with your mind, your body, your poor everything, and and you wonder why these poor kids are going through so much, and then you go social media and it's poor kids. But I just remember I got to a point where I found like a healthy regimen for myself. I had found that I'm not even gonna say the workout because everybody's gonna laugh because it's dated at this point. But I remember I found a work. Be quiet, don't you dare, Kelly. I found a workout that I really liked. I will, for real. You can't help yourself. I'm gonna pay this favor back. So I said all this to say I had found like a really great workout that I loved. I felt good. I felt healthy. I felt good about me. I still wasn't like the ideal size, but I was feeling comfortable in my skin. And I remember one of my best friends in the world, still to this day, great friends. He was going to prom, and I had an opportunity. He wanted to just go with a friend. He didn't want to have to like. Sometimes, for those that don't remember, for those that haven't went to prom yet, sometimes there's like societal pressure when you go to prom. He didn't want that. He just wanted to have a good time with a friend. And so I just remember when I went that time, and I had never put on like a ball gown, and gotten my hair all, it felt so classy, and put on the Ritz, as they say. I just remember like I looked in the mirror before I ever even saw my friend and went out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel beautiful. It's like for some reason my skin decided to act right that time. That was
Were
the
you
first time I
like,
got my eyebrows done.
were you like Gypsy Rose Lee when she was like, "Mama, I'm pretty"?
I don't compare myself to that movie because she was doing some dancing, and we won't leave it at it's very classy, but it was still, yeah. Anyway, that's funny. No, so I just remember looking in the mirror and thinking for the first time, without any input from society, without even my guy friend telling me that I was beautiful or anything. It was literally just without my mom saying it. I just looked in the mirror. I was like, oh my god, I feel good about me. Like I felt good at my size. I was not a size 0, nowhere close. Okay. you know, I didn't look like the standard beauty on a magazine, but I felt good about me. And, I felt like that was such an achievement moment. That was the first time in my whole life that I ever felt beautiful. My whole entire life up to that point, like 15 years, did not ever feel pretty. And
And
then
can I
this
just
moment, I was just
say
like,
I
oh
was
my
there?
gosh.
Can I say I was there and I saw her and she looked like freaking Made in Manhattan. When they did her up and she went to the ball, she looked freaking gorgeous. She's playing herself down. She had the crown. Her bun was huge. She had the blue Princess Cinderella dress on. She
I
was
was
doing
definitely
the
so,
dang thing. Okay. She's
yeah.
like, I feel pretty. No, she was freaking stunning. She was a stunner that night. She was sitting there in the limo, like,
But if you don't see yourself like that, it
oh
is
my.
more of an aha moment instead of like living that truth, as they say. I hadn't found that truth to that very second where I was like, wow, I feel good about me. And I think one thing that Kiki Kels is doing for me in this season, just from a maternal point, as a mom, like sometimes it's funny how sometimes your life, for like 12 years I was a vegetarian. Like it was working for me. I liked how I was feeling. I felt like I had energy. But then, sometimes you change, your body changes on you, and then you have to kind of regroup, and you have to figure out, well, what's working for you in this season. And this is like confession. I feel like I'm doing a confession. For after our father passed, I was not sleeping that well, and I was working. I think I was working so much because I didn't want to deal with the pain of it. And so I wasn't sleeping well, and I wasn't eating properly. Not that I was eating bad food, I just was eating at the wrong times. And so like my body started to like gain some weight, and I wasn't comfortable with it. I was upset about it. But I remember I was talking to Kiki Kels one day, and she was just like, listen, she's like, at every season of your life, I need you to own it. Okay. I need you to feel good about yourself. I need you to believe in yourself. I need you to love yourself. Yes, I want you to find like the healthier option, and move like back to where you feel comfortable in your body. But still, you can't be walking around with your head down, acting like defeated. She's like, you need to love where you love yourself right now. I don't want you to wait. I want you to love you now, this version of you. And I was like, you're
It's
right.
like,
She's like, because it's all about confidence. Yeah, she's like, it's all about confidence. She's
Own
like,
it.
if you're walking around like you're worth it, everybody else is gonna treat you like it. But she's like, if you're walking around with your head down because you feel defeated because you're not the size you want to be at this moment, she's like, everybody's gonna see that too. So she's like, so please own it and stop wearing black. she's, she's like, there's other colors to wear. Please stop wearing black.
That's why you throwing that navy blue tonight, huh, girl?
Yes.
I love that.
Gotcha.
Own it. Own every style.
Like, own it.
Own it. I love that.
Yeah. So I think at this season of my life, loving myself with the overabundant curves that I own, and but still walking towards my journey of health. You know what I mean? That's one thing I think curves does. Like, I don't care what size she is, you cannot tell her she's not the flyest thing in the room, and she's not doing it in a like an arrogant way. She's just like, I'm not gonna allow somebody to define me by my size. Like, she was body positivity before it was trending. Like, she was very serious about like promoting like feeling good in her own skin.
Always like I'm the good Lord. Always have and always will be that girl, regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Regardless.
So and then what I try to tell other bigger women or plus size women or women who might have more curves is, if you don't believe it, nobody else is gonna believe it. If you don't like you, nobody else is gonna like you. If you walk around like, I'm fat and I shouldn't be here, everyone else is gonna treat you like that. Everyone else.
I'm not Josie Grossi anymore.
But when you walk around every single room I'm in, I pounce, I prance like I am the baddest. You can't tell me I'm not $150 when I walk in the room. Can't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? You know how on the movie. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it.
She's not lying though. When I
walk $150.
When I walk around with curves, like, she acts like she's skinnier than me. Her attitude is skinnier than my attitude. Straight up. I walk like the fat girl. She walks like, ain't no, like she has theme music. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing.
But the awesome thing about curves is, like, not only does she talk about body positivity, but she's working out every day too. Like, she's not the kind of person that's like, be comfortable in your skin, but always be working towards your own personal health goals. And so I respect that. Like, she's been, you've been in the gym for like over 5 years now. But right, curves, like, you're consistent.
She has been. I put on weight, and she said to me, she was like, Shayna, you stop walking like a fat girl. And I was like, like, what? So she had to teach me how to Dougie.
And when she says that, she just means like, just walk like you love yourself. Just love yourself at this stage. And, you know.
Yeah, but it's hard
enjoy the moment.
When your thighs are bigger, they rub together different.
So you fake it till you make it. You walk like your legs aren't pressed together like a grilled cheese sandwich, okay?
Like, how do I? She said you gotta wrap them around. She gave me a whole like little runway walk. I was like, okay, I got this.
I'm done with you. I can't unsee that.
Like the grilled cheese sandwich. Speaking of grilled cheese sandwich, Curves, did you want to tell us of a time where you had to work on loving yourself? We lost our queen mother.
Queen, where have you gone?
You said work on loving myself?
Yeah. Was there a time that you had to work on loving yourself?
Maybe after I had my son. You know, I've always been a curvier woman, but like after I had my son, I like snapped back and then I blew up. Like, imagine like a balloon when you when you blow it up and then it deflates and then like you try to blow it back. It was just you know, it was really love myself in a different way.
Oh, man.
Always say is I always come around. I always very much come around. And, you know, I'm going to post the full body shots because I'm always going to feel myself. You know, I might be in the dark, but I'm always going to come to the light. So I mean, that's as real as I can be. You know what I'm saying? That's vulnerable as y'all about to get me out here in these streets. So, yeah.
Okay.
We made Kiki Kells bust out laughing. Oh gosh.
But I had it with a balloon. Balloon analogy.
Yes.
So, Queen Mother, did you want to talk about a time that you had to work on loving yourself, or did you already kind of go over that
I think I kind of.
after your husband
I
passed?
think I like this little
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go. I'll give my time. I would say same as Curves. My times that I had to work on loving myself was after I had my son. But it wasn't because of the way that I looked. It wasn't because I gained weight. It was because of the embarrassment of having a child out of wedlock. So for me, it was now I am the single mother, the one that everyone talks about. It was my father was a pastor, and I've now had a child outside of marriage, and the embarrassment it brought the family into the church. And I felt like people looked at me differently, and I felt like I didn't have value and I was worthless. Now, what good am I? I don't have my virginity, and now I have a child and no husband. So I had to find myself again. I had to realize I was still worth loving. I wasn't just this valueless person and thing. And that's kind of why I advocate for single mothers so much, because I know what it feels like that they go through. Like the society really just like puts a stamp on them as if like you are now a single mother, like you have the scarlet letter, you are stained for life. But I don't think that's where a woman's value ends, even though society treats them like that. But I remember there were people that would look at me, they would point, I remember when I would be out with my son, like people would always look at me and they would look at my finger and they would see no ring. And it's like it's like they would have this thought process of who they thought that I was, you know? So I think that wasn't, I would choose like guys that weren't the best choice for me because I didn't feel valuable enough to have a good man, because I was like, well, now I'm stained, I'm tarnished, I wear the scarlet letter. So that was the time for me that I really
Good
had
point.
to that I really had to start. I had to learn to love myself again. I had to see that I had value outside of um, being that single mom, you know. So
But
yeah.
that's interesting that you would perceive that, because if you're just walking down the street with a child and no ring, why would people look at you funny unless you opened your mouth and told them who you were? You could have been auntie, you could have been big sister, you could have been babysitter. They
Mom, I was
don't know.
thinking the same exact thing. I was
They
thinking, how
don't know.
they know?
So
Like,
a lot of that is how you were feeling inside and projecting it outside.
Mm-hmm.
facts.
Because unless you tell them, you don't. I've watched
Um,
children even before I had my own, and I never felt like they looked at me like, "Ooh, what are you doing with that little kid?" I was like, if you don't know I'm babysitting, that's your problem. That's it.
Yeah, but I think it was a lot of things like leading up to it. So I kind of had to stop caring about what a lot of people thought, and like I had to refine my relationship with Christ, because it was even my relationship with the church was damaged after that happened. Being a child, a pastor's child, having a baby outside of marriage, it was very embarrassing. So just the way people would say things and treat me, I think I just assumed because had already been said. So yeah, it was a very hurtful time in my life, but I moved past it, and guess what? You're still worth it all. Not just me. I'm talking about all single moms.
Great.
So that was mine.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have anything they want to add? No? Okay. So we have a few, speaking of love, I know we just kind of covered self-love. We kind of wanted to cover all areas of love, you know, in lieu of the holiday. Valentine's Day.
Your favorite?
It is my favorite holiday. It is.
We're gonna do a part
So
2 to this.
we're gonna do part 2. We're not gonna do it now.
Yeah. Remember?
No,
because it's pretty lengthy, so we can get it started, but just understand like it's kind of like unwrapping a virtual workshop, so it's pretty in depth.
okay. Well, let's start. Let's see how quickly it goes. If we can get it all in, we can do it. If not, then we'll go part 2. How about that? Ladies, who would like to go first? I know you each have 2. Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Okay. Which one did you want to do? Because you have storage and you have pragma.
I'm going to do storage first.
All right, here we go. Storage.
Okay.
Love.
Storage is
Mhm.
a familiar love. It is a natural love that a family member has for each other. It's the type of love that parents feel towards their children, and vice versa, children have towards their parents. It's the love that siblings feel towards each other. And when I read that, I was thinking about the fact that there is a certain love that you do have for your siblings, that you guys can fuss and fight or say things to each other, but nobody else should, or you won't allow it. And you guys have each other's back. Like, don't let someone call and say, I need you, like all of you come to that's a love. And even after, let's say, I've had where you guys had tiffs, but after the tiff, let someone say, I'm hurting or I'm upset. It's like you put that aside and attend to whatever that need is. And then later you come back and discuss whatever that discrepancy or whatever that issue was. That's a real family love, because it's not like your love is supposed to discard how you feel or overlook it, because your feelings are valid, but they should never override what that family member needs. Um, that's how I feel. You're muted. You're muted.
I was just going off on my little tangent. I want to say, I said that was excellent, Mom. And I want to say that when I first started doing this study, I had no idea there were 8 types of love. Did anybody else know that? Did Did you know, Curves? There was 8 types. So I thought this was really interesting.
Love languages, but I think the more time that goes on, people are just gonna start making more shit up. Before we know it, there's gonna be 20 love languages. They're gonna
First,
extra
first
language is now astrology and
no,
the stars. Like, go ahead.
no, actually, so no, you're so stupid, Greg. So okay, so what we did is we made one word for love, but this is like Greek, Greek, Latin. There are 8 words that we just shortened it. We say love for everything. I love you, mom. I love you, husband. I love you, friend. But they all have different meanings. So we are the ones that
The
capped it.
love language that means I want your dinero. Who
Um,
loves that?
maybe
Is
that's
that
when
the
they.
gold digging type of love? Is that gonna be the extra type of love?
Oh,
That
no,
says,
no, no, no. Actually, I have.
where's the I got a big back and I like food love? Like, that's got to be a love language too. The people that always want to play. You feel me? They,
No,
don't act like it's not y'all.
no. So these aren't love languages. These are types of love. So
And
like,
I'm telling you, it's a type of love.
okay,
All right, go ahead.
I would probably say that was mania. And since we're on the subject, I'll go next. Mania is mine. Okay, so I had to write this down because it was a lot. I was like, what? Okay, mania. It is from the Greek origin. Mania is obsessive love. It's the kind of love that a stalker feels towards their victim. This is considered excessive and unhealthy, and it's what did I write? Oh, it teeters on the line of madness. So when you say mania, it's almost like pyromania, egomania. It's like obsessive and a little crazy. The Greeks knew this when they used this word. So when they said mania, they meant it's a love, but it was almost like obsessive to the point of overdoing it. So I would say if you are like obese and you absolutely love your food, almost like gorging at it, that would probably be mania type of love. Obsessive, like if you're obsessive with food.
Out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I have a story. I have a story because I was trying to think to myself when I read this. I was like, have I ever felt mania love for someone?
Huh?
I can think of about a few of them right now.
So I have a story. I'm gonna call it my Julio story. Okay.
When the queen leaves the screen, we know it's bad.
I'm gonna call it my Julio. So I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I was obsessed with him, but my sisters can attest I was a little obsessed with him. I would say like when I first met him, I was like 19 years old and I met him and I was like, oh my God, I love Julio. I'm gonna marry Julio. Everything I said had Julio at the end of it. Julio, Julio, Julio. I mean, he knew I liked him, but we didn't live in the same state. But I was like, oh my God, can't wait to see Julio. Everything was about Julio.
That's a good thing.
Even when I met guys, I mean, I'm a teenager, but even when I met other guys and they were like, I really like you, I want to see where this goes. I'm like, no. I'm going to marry Julio. Sorry. No, like I told at least 5 guys and it's like they all try to be better than Julio because I'm like, no. I'm going to marry Julio. I'm sorry. This can't go past friendship because I love Julio. It was a bit obsessive, I think. Finally, I got over it like when I met my son's father, but yeah, I was pretty obsessed with Julio. That's my
That was
And
before
the
the
part that she
frontal
left out
lobe
is her
grew
son's
in.
father looks like Julio 2.0. So even when she thought she was done obsessing over Julio, she got the great value version of him.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Wow. First of all, if we put apples to apples, my son's father is a freaking model and he looks way better than Julio right now at this age. Like he aged way better than Julio. Julio's chin drop.
That's true. No, I
Still,
seen a picture of Julio. Julio now look. Julio went from looking like Rico Suave to Morgan Freeman.
That's not nice.
That's nice. I wasn't expecting that one.
That's not nice.
I'm done. Y'all know I play entirely too much. Don't take me.
I
Too
can't get that out of my head. Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
You made Kelly go off screen. I don't know if she's coming back. And guys, that's all for Queen Talk tonight.
No,
Sorry, Julio.
he does not look like Morgan Freeman. He looks like in the White Chicks. He was like, "Pala conmigo, esta loca."
You're just confirming what you said. Like,
Do you ever see White Chicks? No.
no, I'm just saying you're kind of confirming what she said.
Yeah,
He looks different.
I just wanted to do a Spanish version. Well, you didn't do yours. We each did our first. No, did you do yours, Curves?
No.
Okay,
No.
go ahead. You have to do your because you each had 2.
So mine was sexual passion and deep friendship.
Which one? Eros?
I don't know the little nicknames. Eros, Caneros, Papa John Deros.
Did you do your research?
No, I did. But I mainly focused on the actual name, not the abbreviation of whatever they.
Okay, go. Let's see what you got.
Anyway,
so let's do Eros. That's the one I have up.
Far as the sexual passion goes, Molly is funny. I can't do this with her on the screen.
What was the other one you had? We could try that one. The friendship love?
No. So, sexual passion. Sexual passion, I think that it's taking the time to actually find things that you like for about a person outside of the sexual aspect of it, outside of just the lustful how they look like. I feel like sexual passion, it starts off with it can start off with like mental, like how you make me feel when we're just spending time with each other. Maybe the way you caress my hand or rub my back or just talk to me, look me in my eye. I don't think it all has to be like, the moment. Like, I feel like sexual passion is like it's the build up until, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, that comes with mental stimulation, as well as for me would be to like, keep things exciting, be open, don't be like too close minded. I'm not going to get like too deep into anything right now, but yeah, that's for that. And as far as friendship goes,
No, 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 no. You're not doing that one right now. It's who didn't go? Iris, it's your turn. You're not doing that one yet. We're each person's gonna go their turn. We'll come back around. So when I
All
looked
right.
up the Eros love, they said like when the Bible mentioned love and they were talking about Eros love, they meant that like it's like the marital type of love. So it was that passionate uh, marriage type of sexual, not just like sexual passion with anyone. Like that means like strictly like within the confines of marriage. Like when they say that type of love in the Bible, that's what they're talking about. Did you see that in your research or curse?
yeah, that is definitely something I saw in my research.
Okay. What about you, Lady Iris? Which one did you want to do? You had a self
I
love.
had, yes, Philotia. They said that's the American way to say it, and then there's the Greek way to say it. Um, Mine was in regard to self love, and I have a couple of notes in regard to that. Um, One group shared that it's self love or internal compassion, which I appreciate, or understanding the soul, which is something that I feel like is really important to me and when I'm connecting with people just in general. Um, there is a scripture that is something that I think connects with the two loves that I have to share. So Mark 12:31, as you guys know, I'm a woman of faith, so I always kind of have like a biblical aspect when I'm looking at something. And this one is love your neighbor as yourself. The verse is love your neighbor as yourself. And there's a note that I always thought was great that I discovered, but then I heard, my dad was a minister. He shared on it. But in order to be compassionate and love other people and be generous in that nature, one of the first things in regard to other people is you have to love yourself first. It's not always easy, and I think the reason why I wanted to speak on this one is because for a while I was imbalanced in this. I was trying to love and serve everybody and be there for other people, and I was putting myself on the back burner, and that's not healthy either. So I had to work on on being more balanced. So I think it's just as important when you're trying to, when I say self love, not that I think self care is very important in that too, but I think in regard to us, loving ourselves properly, I think it's taking time to get to know yourself. I do a lot of like courses or programs with young ladies, and one of the things that I try to encourage them to do is take time when you're a teenager to get to know you and get to know what you truly love. And sometimes that takes some time. Um, it's so easy to be heavily influenced when you're a teenager because you're like kind of breaking off. When I say breaking off, you're kind of finding your new space with your new tribe. Like obviously it was your family at first, but now you're finding what they call, I'm finding my people. So you're finding your people. So it's easy to like, well, you know, Bethany, she wears pink. Like I think I look cute in pink too, right? But pink's not even really your color, but you're seeing it so much in your friendship group, you're like trying, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or, there's everybody's into basketball. You really like football, but you're kind of going along with it because everybody else, in your core group is in love with basketball. But, and there's nothing wrong with like exploring those things, but it's important to take time to acknowledge the things that you are growing to love. And one of the things I always tell students and youth is sometimes kids or young people or young adults don't even know what they enjoy till they're introduced to that moment. And so sometimes with for me, I love the arts. So there's opportunities like if we can go to the theater, a production, if there's a concert going on, even if it's classical or it's something that's a little bit more modern, if it's something that like is the school allows and is family friendly, I want to introduce my kids to those moments because sometimes they didn't know that they loved music or they loved drawing till they had the opportunity to do it. Maybe that was never like an opportunity for them. And so I think a lot of young people give so much time to like relationships and dating so young that they never take time to discover themselves. And I think part of that self love is knowing yourself and knowing what you need in certain seasons. And like you guys were saying, for me, it was learning in a season because I was like, I was told you I was in balance because I wanted to be present for everybody. I wanted to be there for everybody. You're my family. Or if I call you my friend, I think of you as family. So I'm there for you. But it got to a point where I was like, you know what? Like you said, saying no or the Queen Mother said, saying no was healthy for me in one season. Kind of knowing where my limitations were, super important. Hey, you know what? I would really love to help run this production for you, or I'd really love to help, plan your wedding because you're my friend. But in this season, I'm still kind of, healing or I'm still working through some points of grief. I need to make sure I'm making time to do some self-love, whether that, like I said, going on a walk. Maybe it would be talking to a friend about some of the things that I'm dealing with. And for once, knowing that I need to reach out. I think that was one thing that I learned after my father passed. Like I figured for once in my life, I can't be the one giving out. I need to make sure that I'm having someone else pour back into me. And like Miss the Queen Mother said, getting restored, getting refreshed, becoming renewed. And sometimes if you're used to giving all the time, it's hard to step back and let someone else like be there for you because you're always used to being in that role where you're there for somebody else. So I think one of the most important things for me to properly love other people is I had to make sure I know myself, know what I love, know my limitations, know what I'm capable of, and be okay with what season I'm in, and not put the prior pressures on myself anymore. And like I said, this could be a very long talk, so I don't know if I'll circle back around if this is too much, but there was one other thing they said. Um, someone noted that sometimes we're mistaken when we say we must love ourselves in order to love others. Some find it easy to love themselves and hard to share the light with others. Meanwhile, some use continuous outpouring of love towards others as a mask to hide their own perceived deficiencies. And I think that's what some of us do when we're loving but not taking time to self love. And this was under something called the knowledge. I'm trying to look for the author, but I thought that was well said. So I think for me, just overall, is knowing the season you're in is just as important as doing the act of self love, knowing where you're at, and making sure that sometimes you have to kind of change up maybe the space you're in, maybe change up the group you're in. Maybe you need to reach out to that friend that you know is going to tell you the truth about where you are. I know I have a couple of friends like that. If I call them, they will be compassionate, they'll be loving, but they'll also be firm, you know. And that's what is needed in certain seasons. So I think self love is knowing when you need to put yourself in the place to for other people to serve you, encourage you, be a resource to you. And then vice versa. Sometimes you're going to be that person that's going to maybe have, like you said, a full cup and now you can pour out to other people. So for me, self love is knowing me and knowing the season I'm in. Excuse me. I can't hear you.
I said thank you for that, Lady Iris. And speaking of that, would you like to announce our giveaway?
No, I want you to do it.
was your idea? I totally think you should take it from here.
Okay. I thought it'd be really great since Valentine's Day is right around the corner. By the way, for those that celebrate this tomorrow, happy Valentine's Day to all my
Oh,
girls
it's
out
Wednesday,
there.
girl.
Okay.
2 more days. It's Wednesday.
No, I said happy Valentine's Day tomorrow.
What's a galentine?
It's when you celebrate your sisters, your friends, your girls, your homie. Happy Valentine's Day. That's tomorrow. So for those that are like, don't be sad if you don't have a Valentine's Day. Go celebrate with your sisters, your friends tomorrow. Okay. There are people that are in your circle that love you, appreciate you. So go celebrate. Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
I
I
know. In the
never knew
past,
about Valentine.
really, it's cute.
Maybe
But
they always had
in
a
my
boyfriend. They always had a boyfriend.
at our old school, even if you have a boyfriend or not, it's just a day to celebrate your sisters and your friends and your
Oh.
girls. In my old school, we used to have like this really big ice cream social, music playing. The girls used to have a blast. All the teenagers.
I'm
So
single. Let's go Valentining.
so we just wanted to, of course, celebrate Valentine's Day and let you know the queens, we love you here, and we wanted to have an opportunity to to bless a couple of people. If we thought it'd be great if you encourage a couple of people to subscribe, of course, to the YouTube channel, but also start following us on Instagram. If you can, if you Kelly will put up a post tomorrow, but if you can, you're going to share that post on your story. And then, of course, if you can add us and add a couple of friends that you want to be placed in this raffle, you can even add yourself. It doesn't matter. We're going to do a raffle on Wednesday, Valentine's Day, and a nice little giveaway. So this is just a fun way for you to, of course, the next 2 days, Valentine's Day, celebrate Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. So just repost the flyer, the giveaway flyer, and at us so we know that you shared our post, excuse me, and then make sure you at a couple of friends that you believe should be celebrated on Valentine's Day. Girls or guys, doesn't matter. We don't discriminate.
Those the guys that was friends.
Well, love y'all.
Thank you so much. So I'll definitely be putting that post out tomorrow. So ladies, look for that. And thank you for joining us. We will see you. We're going to try to be here every Sunday, but I did put a post out where we were trying to do a vote. So let us know if you prefer a different day, if it's easier for you to do Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, or if you like Monday nights, we can try for that. Let me know. Okay. But I do hope everyone, go ahead.
But in honor of Valentine's Day and just a week of love, Kelly was going to share a clip. One of my another beautiful musician and artist. His name's Jesse LaRose. He accompanied me, and we did a really fun cover of "All of Me." And we thought we'll be doing like a little bit of interviews and talking through that in the future. But right now, we just thought it'd be fun for you to get like a small clip, but it'll be released this week. I hope you guys enjoy it. But again, just a way to celebrate love, and we just wanted to share this clip with you. If Kelly has that ready. If not,
Yes,
she has to sing a cappella, so no pressure. You're so silly.
How does that sound? So I'll play the clip, but I also wanted to say that I will be doing an interview with the two. So stay tuned for that. It is going to be exciting. And also, my sister can sing, girl.
Mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
Wait, that was it? No. Play that one more time.
Comienzo mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
Ooh. Do you want to go ahead and sing for us now? 'Cause I give you all of me.
Yes, but he's a phenomenally talented artist. He studied under some of the greatest classical guitar players in the world and teachers, and he knows how to compose music. He writes music, and he's one of the artists just in this area. I forgot we don't really stay where we're at. But anyway, I think it was a beautiful. He did a beautiful arrangement and added such a lovely vibe, and including the just the Spanish English. I feel like it was a conversation. It's really cool. So hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, that was actually very, very beautiful. I think one more time for the road.
Gracias. Oh my gosh.
One more time for the road.
I'm so silly.
Hold on, let me pull it up one more time. Where is it?
It wasn't meant to be. It's all right.
Was it meant? It's always meant to be. You just have to be patient. Okay.
Oh, you're saying goodbye, Queen Mother? We love you.
For
Thank
the
you
road.
so much.
For the road. For the road.
Love you, Queen Mother.
Love you,
Thank you for
everyone.
your wisdom.
Love you, Lady Addie.
Love you, all the queens out there
Congratulations.
and kings.
Mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
That was beautiful.
I don't know. I thought it was longer. I'm so sorry. Next time, I'll
It
come
was
with a longer
so short.
piece.
I was like, that's what you're leaving me with? This is terrible. I need more. Must have more.
It's a little sample. I'm just leaving the
I did.
sample.
I had a little thumbnail of the
What?
Can you see my screen?
I see us on the side, and then I see the video.
Mm-mm. That is not what I want you to see.
Valentine's Day, girl. Make sure you have some fun with your girl tomorrow.
I'm trying. I tried. I'm sorry. I'll play.
No,
I'll
no
play
worries.
next time.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Had a great time. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Alrighty,
And
well, we'll
Jen.
see you next time. Sorry, I was really trying to grab it. I can't find it.
No, it's okay. No worries. No worries. So yeah, it will be premiering this week. So look forward to hearing your feedback. Love you, Queen.
Love you, queens. We will see you next time. Bye.
I'll do cursing. Bye.
Mi victoria y mi reflejo. 'Cause I give you all of me. Sí.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.